we're thankful for him.
He said he feels like he let you guys down. How do you react when your quarterback who's done so much for you says that to you guys?
He let us down.
Thanks, Tim.
I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
Your emotion.
Can't win with 5 turnovers. I fumbled twice, threw 2 picks. When you shoot yourself in the foot like that, you don't deserve to win football games.
The internet is absolutely on fire right now. This isn't just another bad loss scrolling through timelines. This is a full-blown NFL meltdown. Josh Allen, the franchise quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, the man Buffalo crowned as their superhero, their savior, their ticket to a Lombardi, just delivered one of the most emotionally crushing post-game interviews the playoffs have seen in years.
It was a horrible ball. Let's keep it real. It was a air ball. But when you look at the play in real time, how can you determine that there was PI in real time?
And the fallout since then has been nothing short of nuclear. Let's set the scene properly. The Denver Broncos just eliminated the Bills 33-30 in overtime in a divisional round playoff game that felt more like a car crash than a football contest. 5 turnovers, 5 controversial moments, momentum swinging back and forth like a prize fight. And when the dust finally settled, Buffalo was once again left staring at the same brutal ending they've seen too many times. At the center of it all stood Josh Allen, tears barely held back, eyes red, voice cracking, taking the full weight of Buffalo's postseason misery straight on his shoulders. This wasn't just another playoff loss you brush off and promise to fix next year. This was the 6th time in Allen's career that the Bills' Super Bowl dreams went up in flames. 6th! That number is starting to echo.
Just suck it up and play fucking football. Just play. Just stay. Just, it's almost over.
And that's why the narrative feels heavier now. Buffalo keeps asking the same question year after year. When does next year actually become this year? When does all that talent, all that belief, all that regular season dominance finally turn into a parade? The viral moment everyone can't stop talking about came immediately after the final whistle. Allen, still in full uniform, sweat-soaked, exhausted, and emotionally drained, stood in front of the cameras and delivered a gut punch of accountability. He didn't deflect. He didn't blame the refs. He didn't hide behind cliches. He flat out said he let his team down.
I haven't been doing a lot of talking other than I love my teammates and I'm extremely sorry. I'm disappointed in how this ended.
And that moment split NFL Twitter right down the middle. Because think about it. That's your franchise quarterback. The guy who threw for over 250 yards. The guy who made ridiculous off-platform throws all night. The guy who dragged the Bills back from a double-digit deficit when the season was slipping away. And there he was, broken, taking responsibility for a loss that had so many contributing factors.
No.
It's almost impossible to pin this game on one person. And that's where things get uncomfortable. Because when reporters asked Allen's teammates how they reacted to their quarterback saying he let them down, the response wasn't warm or supportive. It was cold. Ice cold. Let that sink in. A Bills player essentially confirmed that Josh Allen let them down. The same Josh Allen who has dragged this franchise into relevance for 5 straight years. The same Josh Allen who carried an offense that's been patched together with duct tape and hope.
It's been a long season. I hate how it ended, and it's going to stick with me for a long time.
The same Josh Allen who ran for 66 yards on 12 carries while taking constant hits in the pocket. The audacity. The nerve. But here's where the conversation gets complicated. Maybe buried inside that brutal honesty is a truth Buffalo doesn't want to face. Because what happened in Denver was absolute chaos. The Bills didn't commit 2 turnovers. Or 3. They committed 5. 5 turnovers in a playoff game on the road is football malpractice. And the Broncos didn't hesitate for a second. They capitalized on every mistake Buffalo handed them on a silver platter.
Just trying to be aggressive. Can't do that.
Allen's stat line tells the story of modern NFL quarterbacking in all its messy glory. He was brilliant and disastrous at the same time. He made throws only elite quarterbacks can make. He also made mistakes that would have Pop Warner coaches losing their minds on the sideline. That's the Josh Allen experience. And unlike quarterbacks who duck accountability or point fingers, Allen owns it. Maybe too much. Because while he's standing there shouldering the blame, let's be crystal clear about something.
I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
This loss was not just on him. The Bills' receiving corps was absolutely decimated by injuries. At one point, Brandon Cooks, who was picked up around Thanksgiving, was basically operating as the WR1 in crunch time. That's not a championship formula. That's a desperation move. That's survival mode football in January. Buffalo was trying to win a divisional playoff game with receivers who barely had time to learn the playbook. That matters. Timing matters. Chemistry matters. And in the postseason, those details are the difference between advancing and packing your bags. And then there's the ending, the controversial ending. The one Bills fans are still screaming about: flags, no flags, marginal calls, moments that will be debated all offseason. Buffalo fans aren't crazy for being furious, because when seasons end like this, every single detail gets magnified. This wasn't just a loss.
I haven't been doing a lot of talking other than I love my teammates, and I'm extremely sorry. I'm disappointed in how this ended.
This was another emotional gut punch in a growing list of heartbreaks. And now the question isn't whether Josh Allen is good enough. That debate should be dead and buried. The pass interference calls in overtime that set up Denver's game-winning field goal are still being argued everywhere. Questionable doesn't even begin to cover it. Slow motion replays, freeze frames, side-by-side comparisons, all telling different stories. And when reporters asked Josh Allen about those calls, his response was calm, measured, and painfully revealing.
He said he feels like he let you guys down. How do you react when your quarterback who's done so much for you says that to you guys?
He let us down.
That's as close as you'll ever hear an NFL quarterback come to calling out the officials without getting hit with a fine that feels personal. Allen chose his words carefully. He always does, because he knows how this league works. Say too much and the league office remembers. Allen knows those calls were suspect. Everyone watching knows those calls were suspect. The fans knew it. The analysts knew it. Even neutral viewers knew something felt off. But in the NFL, saying that part out loud comes with consequences. Silence is survival. Then came the moment that might haunt Buffalo fans all offseason. The Brandon Cooks interception, or was it a catch? Play in overtime that instantly ended the game.
Can't win with 5 turnovers. I fumbled twice, threw 2 picks. When you shoot yourself in the foot like that, you don't deserve to win football games.
One angle shows Cooks with what looks like clear possession. Hands under the ball. Control established. Another angle shows the ball being ripped away before he's fully down. The officials ruled it an interception. Game over. Season over. Super Bowl dreams erased in a single whistle. Social media exploded instantly. Former players weighed in. Analysts paused broadcasts mid-sentence. Fans felt like the rug had been pulled out from under them. When Allen was asked if he received an explanation on that call, his response was just one word, and that one word said everything. Frustration. Defeat. Absolute disbelief. You could feel it through the screen. Because imagine the weight of that moment. After 5 turnovers. After clawing back from the edge. After refusing to fold. After forcing overtime on the road. It all ends like that. But here's the uncomfortable truth that's driving NFL analysts insane right now. Allen had chances. Not 1, not 2.
I wish I could point fingers, man, and get a couple calls back. I can't wait to see the film on what really happened with some of them plays.
Multiple chances that elite quarterbacks are expected to convert in playoff moments. According to multiple film breakdowns, Allen missed at least 4 critical throws that could have completely changed the outcome. Throws that don't show up as interceptions. Throws that don't look disastrous on paper. But throws that separate wins from losses in January. The most painful one came late in regulation. 3rd down. Dalton Kincaid breaking free in the end zone. A potential walk-off touchdown. Allen lets it fly. And it sails just inches too far. Inches! That's the margin. Inches separate an AFC championship appearance from an offseason full of regret. Then there's the turnover before halftime. The one Bills fans can't defend. 13 seconds left. No timeouts. The plan is simple. Protect the ball, go into halftime, and a reset. Instead, Allen scrambles. Carries the ball loose, like a loaf of bread. Nick Bonito punches it free. Denver recovers. Kicks a field goal. Instead of heading to the locker room down 7-3, Buffalo walks off down 10-3. That's not bad luck. That's not officiating. That's not circumstance. That's a catastrophic decision at the worst possible moment. You can't do that. 3 words that perfectly summarize Josh Allen's entire career arc. The same aggressiveness that makes him unstoppable is the same trait that leads to back-breaking mistakes. It's a double-edged sword. And in this game, it cut deep. Now let's address the elephant everyone is dancing around. Josh Allen's playoff record. He now sits at 5-6 in the postseason, and his overtime record is brutal. 0-7. Read that again. 0 wins, 7 losses. That's not a typo. That's a pattern forming whether people like it or not. The Bills are now 0-3 in playoff overtime games under Allen. At some point, coincidence turns into conversation. And that's what makes this loss sting even more. This felt like Buffalo's year. The AFC felt wide open. Patrick Mahomes isn't invincible forever. The path was there. The opportunity was real. And once again, it slipped away in heartbreaking fashion. The emotional toll on Allen was impossible to ignore. When asked what he said to his teammates after the game, his response hit like a punch to the chest. No cliches, no slogans, just raw honesty. Grown men on NFL Twitter admitted they were tearing up. Because love him or criticize him, one thing is undeniable. This is a man carrying the full weight of an entire franchise and an entire city on his shoulders. Josh Allen isn't just playing quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. He's carrying history. He's carrying pain. He's carrying expectations that have been building for decades. Buffalo has never won a Super Bowl. Not once. 4 straight losses in the early 1990s still hang over this city like a storm cloud that never fully cleared. Decades of heartbreak followed. Decades of mediocrity. Decades of being close enough to care but never close enough to celebrate. Then Josh Allen arrived, and suddenly everything changed. He brought relevance. He brought belief. He brought Sundays that mattered again in January. He turned Buffalo into a destination instead of a punchline. But here's the brutal truth. Hope without championships eventually turns into prolonged suffering. And Bills Mafia is suffering right now. Not quietly. Not patiently. Loudly. Emotionally. Publicly. That's why the debate raging across NFL media feels unavoidable. Is Josh Allen good enough to win a Super Bowl? Not good enough to post highlights. Not good enough to dominate in October. Good enough to finish the job in February. The talent is undeniable. The arm strength is elite. The mobility is rare. The leadership is real. Teammates follow him. Fans believe in him. The heart is unquestionable. But football at this level is ruthless, and the questions keep coming. Does he have the decision-making when chaos hits? Does he have the clutch gene when everything tightens? Does he thrive when the margin for error disappears? 5 turnovers in a playoff game is catastrophic. There's no way to sugarcoat that. And yet somehow, Buffalo still had a chance to win. They still scored 30 points. They still forced overtime on the road. They still refused to collapse. That's the contradiction of Josh Allen. His talent keeps Buffalo alive even when the mistakes should bury them. But talent without execution in critical moments isn't greatness. It's just unrealized potential. And the NFL does not hand out trophies for potential. It hands them out for finishing, for closing, for not blinking when everything is on the line. The most painful part of this entire saga is that Allen knows exactly what went wrong. He's not confused. He's not pretending. He's not hiding behind officiating, even though plenty of people are doing that for him. He's looking inward, taking ownership, carrying the blame. And that emotional honesty is exactly why his post-game interview went viral. People recognize real pain when they see it. This wasn't performative. This wasn't scripted. This was a quarterback realizing another year just slipped away. A long season indeed. Those words landed heavy, because now comes the longest stretch of all, the offseason. An offseason that's about to define Buffalo's future. The front office is staring at impossible decisions. Do you run it back with the same core and hope the results finally change? Do you make major moves that could backfire? Do you reshape the roster around Allen in a more controlled way? Or do you admit the window might already be closing? The if not now, when question is haunting Bills fans everywhere. This was supposed to be the year. This was supposed to be the moment when everything lined up. Instead, it ended with a controversial pass interference call. A fumble or interception that nobody can agree on. and another offseason filled with what-ifs. Josh Allen's viral postgame interview wasn't just about one loss. It was about 6 years of playoff heartbreak, 6 years of coming up short, 6 years of being close enough to taste it but never close enough to hold it. That's the cruelest place to live in the NFL. Right on the edge of greatness, watching others celebrate, while telling yourself next year will be different. This is what it all comes down to: the crushing weight of expectations. The brutal realization that in the NFL, being really good still isn't good enough. This league is ruthless. The margins are microscopic. The playoffs don't care about talent, effort, or intentions. They only care about execution when everything is on the line. And once again, Josh Allen just learned that lesson the hardest way possible. Again, under the brightest lights. With the season on the line, with history watching. The NFL doesn't hand out sympathy. It doesn't reward almost. It doesn't pause for emotion. And that's why this loss feels heavier than most. Because Allen didn't just lose a game. He lost another year of belief. Another chapter of what if added to Buffalo's story. So now the question hangs in the air, louder than ever. What comes next? Can Allen truly learn from this? Not just publicly, not just emotionally, but in the moments that actually matter. Can he rein in the risk-taking without losing the fearlessness that makes him special? Can he protect the football when instincts scream to do more? Can the Buffalo Bills finally surround him with the kind of talent that doesn't require perfection at quarterback to survive? Can they give him weapons that separate consistently? Protection that holds when plays break down? A roster that doesn't demand heroics on every snap? And maybe the hardest question of all: can Buffalo fix the turnover issues that haunted them all season? Because those mistakes didn't just show up in Denver. They've been lurking all year, waiting for the worst possible moment. Or is this simply who Josh Allen is? A supremely gifted quarterback capable of jaw-dropping plays, a competitor who refuses to quit, a leader teammates rally around, but also a quarterback whose aggression sometimes crosses the line into self-destruction. That's the uncomfortable reality Buffalo has to confront. Because you can't separate the greatness from the chaos. They come packaged together. Only time will tell how this chapter is remembered. But one thing is already locked in: this post-game interview, this moment of raw vulnerability, this display of accountability without excuses. It's going to be replayed for years. Analysts will revisit it. Fans will debate it. And every future playoff run will be compared back to this moment. Was this the breaking point that forced evolution? Or was it just another scar in a long history of playoff pain? For now, Allen isn't going viral for a highlight throw. He isn't trending for a game-winning drive. He's going viral for heartbreak, for honesty, for standing at the podium knowing he left something on the field that can never be taken back. And Bills Mafia is left exactly where they've been so many times before, caught between belief and exhaustion, loving their quarterback, defending him, questioning him, all at the same time. They're asking the same question they've been asking for decades, the same question their parents asked, the same question their grandparents asked. When will it be our turn? And as painful as it is to say it, as unfair as it feels, as cruel as the timing is, the answer, once again, is still not this year.